Welcome tonight to Table Talk number 36, I believe it is. Today's a special day because we are calling it Wing Night. I don't know if you've been... Wing It Night. If you're following us at all, we shared that on our Facebook posts and things like that because we want to talk just off the cuff.
Yep.
And we want to do that once a month. We want to call it Wing It Nights, and we're not going to necessarily know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But that's the fun part of it all.
It's Wing It Night mostly all over Esteban, so we thought we're going to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, why don't we jump on the bandwagon? Absolutely.
So that's what it
I
is
like
tonight.
It. You betcha. I want to start off by doing a big shout out to my gym partner, Dale Feezer.
Yeah.
I texted him this morning and asked him what he's working on. He said back and chest. Said so am I. And so I texted him and said, so are you going to kill me? He said, I'm going to certainly try. And I said, I dare you. And man alive.
And you're here. You made it.
Did we hit the weights?
Yeah.
We hit the weights. It's interesting, when I started lifting weights, it was because I really struggled with insecurity.
Yeah.
I didn't like how I looked, and I struggled with how I seen myself, and I thought, well, if I go to the gym, I can change that. And so that was my first real reason why to go to the gym, because I struggled with insecurities and I didn't like myself.
Yeah.
And so I thought that's what I would do. But now it's become a habit over the many years, and I enjoy it. It's a great social atmosphere. It's a great place to connect with people.
Yes.
And
I actually just had this conversation with somebody last week. Yeah.
About my insecurities?
Well, because we're such different people now than we were, right? We've overcome a lot, and we're still overcoming stuff.
Yep.
But that was one thing.
One thing I'm learning with my life. When I started learning to value myself and being able to recognize that I don't have everything perfect, and I never will have anything perfect, and coming to understand that's okay.
And you don't have anything to prove.
Because
you begin to value yourself.
But yet sometimes when you're struggling and working through your identity and trying to find what is important, and you want to be able to be approved by everybody around you, so then you start shaping your life based on what you want people to see. But then I found myself trapped in that because I didn't like that kind of competitiveness. I didn't like that comparedness. And
it's very tiring.
Because I remember even when we started dating, I wanted to press you, and I wanted to look like I was this great spiritual guy that could sweep you off your feet. And I played that role for many years, and I just found myself empty, frustrated. As a result, everything I did, I would put against the mirror of somebody else and work through that, and I wanted a marriage like these people. I wanted a situation like these people. I wanted to do this kind of stuff. And I think the freeing thing was I had to be comfortable in my own skin. And that was something that I had to work towards, because growing up in church culture and wanting to get into pastoring and that kind of stuff, I was immediately pressured, maybe not purposeful, but I think everybody meant well, and so I had to fit in this kind of mold. And so I was good at trying to mold myself to people that like me. So I lived like that, and it just
it's almost like trying to get on those skinny jeans when you just can't fit them.
No.
And you're trying to squish in there and trying to make it look perfect, and you just can't fit.
And part of that whole intimidation or insecurities, so you start making decisions in your life so that people will like what they see and do what they see, and I had so much to overcome.
So did I.
So much to overcome, and so much to crash through, and part of that crashing through was even when we got into relationship, there was expectations, there was image, there was all that kind of stuff. But one of the things I recognized very quickly, when you start living with someone, you start having a life with somebody, those things come up. You can't keep hiding that stuff. And so that was a whole roller coaster ride in our relationship. And you've described it, and I've described it, for the first 10 to 12 years of our marriage. It was like hell, because it was not fun. When you have two people that have a lost identity and don't know who they are, trying to figure it out, you're going to have sparks and crashes.
Oh my gosh. And you trying to fit me into your image, what you thought maybe, and I'm trying to fit you in what my personality was. Oh my God, that was like
a train wreck.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a train wreck. And I'm glad it's not a train wreck now. We have learned a lot. And how we learn isn't necessarily about going to school. It's how we learn by going through stuff.
Yes.
We go through ramming through stuff, and sometimes major conflicts. And I'm not afraid to talk about our conflicts. I'm not afraid to talk about some of the poop that we've had to go through, because I believe this, that those experiences, if we channel them right, help to shape who we are.
Yeah, and you know what, honey? We've talked about this. Like, as hard as our journey was, I wouldn't want another journey because of where we've come. Like, where we are now.
Our past, whether we like it or not, our past and what we push through helps mold us in our future. And sometimes we don't see that all the time. It's like going to the gym for the first time. You see all these people that are in shape, that have been there for years, and a lot of times that can be intimidating because you feel like everybody's looking at you, and a lot of times in life we feel that way, and the struggle is that's where we often stop. Whether it's addictions we struggle with, whether it's self-image we struggle with, whether it's pleasing people, being accepted by people. Everybody is in that process somewhere. And I made a quote here a couple of days ago, I think. It says, you know what, we tend to think the grass is always greener on the other person's yard until we get there, we notice, oh my goodness, they have weeds too.
Yes.
And it's not about comparing weeds.
No.
It's about mending and mowing our own territory.
Managing ourselves. And pulling those weeds that are causing us struggle and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
you betcha.
Yeah, I love that quote, honey. I actually
absolutely. I just want to put in a plug because these books are going really well. And again, I title it Faith Reconstruction. Why? We've walked through, you've helped walk me through a lot of these pages because it was real life.
Yes.
And part of the struggle, and this is just being honest, part of the struggle in church culture is you always had to live covering up, making yourself look better than you are because people are going to criticize you, people are going to look down on you, people are going to judge you, all those different things. And so with all that motion in there, and there's a lot of things that we were taught that I struggled with. My image of God was molded based on how I understood the Bible and how I understood faith and all that stuff. And so I had a love-hate relationship with God for most of my life. And trying to wrestle through with doctrines and styles and teachings and expectations, and for the longest time I came to a point in my life I thought I can't do it. I can't live this way anymore. And I was at a point in my life where I was going to walk away with faith altogether, and I really struggled with what that looked like. And as a result of that journey of me coming to a place of I've had enough. And
sometimes you have to get there.
Sometimes you have to get there.
Actually to break out
Yes.
of the things that have held you in that place.
Yeah.
That box, that system, that belief, whatever it is.
Yeah,
sometimes
right.
you have to get to the place where I've had enough.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
And I think that's what spurred the book on, because of me plowing through some of those inconsistencies, plowing through those wrong understanding of maybe some of the things that we were taught about God and about faith and that whole, what that conceives.
Yeah.
And so that's why we title it Faith Reconstruction, because it was a construction experience. There was stuff I was taught that I'd done away with. There was things that I rethought. And
you know what? And I think what was huge for me, because when you would struggle, and it was like right from when we got married and we began this journey, I held so strongly to my faith, and I wouldn't allow a question to come in.
Right.
I wouldn't allow myself to even express a doubt or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was the struggle.
And I think a lot of people are there. They just don't even, they don't articulate it that way.
Yes.
They just walk away thinking it's garbage, when really maybe there's some things in there that are garbage. And the big thing was, God's not threatened by our questions.
No.
And when I wrote this book, I wrote it from the perspective of me wrestling through some really important things that we're taught were no-goes. And it's amazing. I talk about failure. Now what? So we failed. Now what?
Yeah.
How do we pick up the pieces? How do we go from there? I talk about, what is it that really matters? At the end of the day, what is it that really matters? I talk about faith. I talk about, the purposes of Jesus and how it fits into our life. I talk about, U-turns. Man, you talk about coming to a point in your life and you backtrack and how often the church looks down on backtracking because you should be further ahead. And I realize God's not like that. He's with us along that journey. Yeah. And so what it did, it really inspired hope. And the comments that we're getting of people too that have bought a copy and are reading it and going through it is really encouraging, because what I want to do is I want it to spark to really look at your own faith and really go through it to see what is it that motivates you, what is it that moves you, what is it that allows you to think the way you do, because it's important. And I think everybody has to come to a place where they have to make faith their own. Yeah. They're going to have to come to a place that what you learned, was passed on, what you've been taught, what you've been demonstrated and shown has to become your own.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, reconstruction. Yes. Because it's not...
And faith was never meant to be in a box.
No.
Faith in itself, the word, the meaning behind it is something... It's real.
Yes.
But it's real life. It's a real God. It's a real...
situations, real struggle, real hope, real...
Faith is being allowed to ask questions. Faith is... It's not...
And God's never threatened by those questions that we have. And again, there was a lot of no-goes growing up, right? And I'm glad I went down those no-go roads, because a lot of things got solidified in my own life and has changed the dynamic of my life. And I know that's what Jesus is all about, is changing the dynamic of our life. And so we got to, so if you want a copy, just give me an email at jeff.73@sastel.net, and we will make sure that we can connect you. They're $20, and if we ship it to you, if you're not in the Estevan area, it's $3.35 to ship it anywhere in Canada. So if you're interested, we'd love to send you that copy.
And you know what?
Yes.
We're winging it tonight.
You bet we are.
I was thinking of like your personality, how you grew up, ADHD, dyslexic, struggling with grammar, all that stuff that made you think.
And I still struggle with grammar. I still struggle with spelling.
Yeah, but I was thinking, like, you wrote a book.
Yeah.
Like that's a miracle.
Yeah, that's a miracle. That's a wall.
That was a total limitation.
We were just talking here before as we were just looking at the book. I said, it isn't amazing? I would have never thought that I would have written something.
No, because you actually didn't believe that you could.
Right, yeah.
Before, because when you believe that your limitations, your areas of weakness
is your roadblock.
Is a problem. That means you're a problem.
Yeah.
You're not, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And when you believe that, it stops you. But when real faith comes into play, it will actually break through your limitations. Our weaknesses are not a limitation.
We're afraid of pain, right? Life, we're afraid of pain. We're afraid of struggle. We're afraid of when we don't know what to do, the unknown. And part of courage and being people of significance is we've got to learn to adapt to those things. We've got to learn to push through those things. And it's not easy, but life isn't going to be easy. We've got to learn to take life by the bootstraps and start trudging through some of our mud. And the biggest thing that I find is sometimes we have a preconceived idea of what life should look like. And if it doesn't happen that way, then we just struggle and we frustrate and we fight and we twist and turn, when really life is not just one ideal. It's a moving, it's alive. And so it should always be changing and developing and growing. And so I never want to be someone that stays stuck. And I think one of the reasons why that we put this table talk together is because we don't want to be stuck people.
Yeah.
We want to be growing and learning and developing. We want to take the tough questions. We want to wrestle through, teachings and thoughts. And we want to have dialogue. We want to learn from everyone.
And you know what? We welcome questions.
Absolutely.
We want you to message us questions.
Absolutely.
Hey, can we tackle this topic? yeah, it might be scary for us, but even this wing at night can be a little scary because we're winging it.
Yeah, that's right. We are winging it.
But you know what? That's sometimes how we grow.
Yeah.
That is sometimes how we grow.
And
when we don't know everything, when we don't have all the answers.
But that's the reality we have to understand. We're not going to know everything.
No.
And if we stick just to what we know, life is going to be boring. It's going to be mundane.
Yeah.
It's nothing significant is going to happen in our life. And so much, I believe, so many people stay trapped because they want to stay in what they know.
Yeah.
Growth takes us beyond what we know and stresses us or stretches us to enter into territory we don't know. That's how we grow. Yeah. That's how we thrive.
And that's faith, actually.
That's faith at work.
That is totally faith working.
And I want to create a culture in our life and the people who are around. I create a culture where it's safe to go to those areas that are unknown, to answer the questions, to talk about stuff that we feel are unsafe or no-go, because that ignites growth. Yes. That ignites dialogue. And I think sometimes in our church culture and even our society, that's looked down on because it puts us uncomfortable. Yeah. It's uncomfortable. I mean, I remember when we first had our kids. Yeah. That was uncomfortable. We had no idea. We had 9 months knowing that this was going to happen. And when it happened, we were in a territory we've never been there before. And sometimes I think we guilt ourselves, and we have, because we haven't done everything right as parents. We haven't raised the perfect kids. Well, naturally, we're not perfect parents. And sometimes we're hard on ourselves when we don't feel like we've done a good job. And I want to encourage you that even in life, you have to take the good with the bad. You have to take failure in account to the process. And so, I mean, we've got to learn as we go. Yeah. Kids don't come with a manual. And then the first one came, and then the second one, and the third one. And each dynamic of those stages were new territory.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Kyle comes, and we didn't have a clue what we were doing.
No.
Raquel comes, and then we really had no clue what we were doing.
And then Tyler came, and we had it all perfect. It's not like that. And that's where sometimes I like to tell people, relax. You can't take life so seriously.
You know what? I actually wrote that down.
Can't take life seriously?
Don't take your life so seriously.
We gotta learn to laugh at ourselves. I mean, sometimes I get frustrated with myself because I make the same mistake, or I want to write a note to somebody of value and appreciation, and there's 6 spelling mistakes in there. Instead of pushing through that, I just throw it in the garbage and say it's done.
We actually walked through that this last week.
We did, absolutely. And I feel for my staff sometimes, especially in the office. So how do you spell this? And the nice thing about Apple phones is you just say the word and it spells it for you. So I don't know why I often get bent out of shape for that stuff. And so, that's just. We get so serious. Yeah. We get so serious with faith. We get so serious with truth. We get so serious with all these stuff. And yes, there's an aspect of seriousness to it. But we got to learn to relax.
Yeah. Enjoy.
And take the bumps with everything.
I think what Jesus says, if he actually has come to bring us life, and life to the full, like there's a full filling place where there's so much.
I used to think that life was when we're in tune with God, have everything organized, have everything right, believe the right stuff. And I'm telling you, that is not fun, because it's not going to work.
That is pressure. That's taking it so seriously that you have to do everything right. That's actually not what he meant.
No.
Actually, enjoy your life.
And I talk about in the book too. Sometimes we take something we were taught, and we just run with it without even working through it, or understanding what was meant by it, or looking at other examples where that's done, so that we get a fair picture of what that looks like. And I want to learn to take life more with wings.
The spills, oh shoot, I crashed, I bombed that one.
It's okay.
Like, laugh.
Absolutely. We're about freeing people, not about confining people. We're about allowing people to process. Not this is where it's at. You're in or out. That picture has changed for me.
Yes.
And if I could share the freedom that I experience, it's because I've had that approach. And do I take life seriously all the time? Not all the time.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do too serious, and I don't enjoy it.
Yes,
And,
it robs you.
It robs us. And freedom is about understanding that we're not going to get it all.
Yes.
And being okay with that.
Yeah.
Freedom means that I'm not going to have everything put together, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. And really, to bring faith in it, God's okay with that too.
Yes.
He's not this guy upstairs that's just making sure everything happens to order, and we got to make sure we're in alignment with all. I mean, that's not fun.
That is not God.
Absolutely not. And so we've enjoyed that journey, and we're continuing on that journey.
Yeah.
And we were talking about kids.
The other day,
someone asked me if I have grandchildren. I said I have 5.
Yeah, number 5 just came.
5.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah. So they're all under 4.
Yes.
So it can be quite busy in the Thiessen household when they all decide to come over to eat.
It is awesome.
I was telling Helen the other day, when grandkids started coming around, when the kids moved to Estevan area and made their home here and found jobs, and I'm glad they did, because Estevan's a great city. I love this city.
Yep.
And for so long, I mean, our house was organized and clean, and then all of a sudden, I see toys are all around, and we thought we were well beyond that stage. But there's nothing like having your grandchild come up to you and say, "Hey, Grandpa, can you come here and help me?" or all that.
Papa.
It just
Hi, Papa.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Papa.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible.
They are so amazing.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And that's
so,
a learning curve too, that aspect of it. We love our kids and our grandkids.
But winging it, let's just say, if we have to have everything in order all the time, nothing out of place in our home, we wouldn't actually not enjoy our grandkids.
No, we would add stress. We would add stress for them, people coming over, all that kind of stuff. And you know what? I've lived under that pressure for so many years, and I'm just done with it. I'm just done with it.
And especially when you begin to experience the freedom.
Yes.
And that's the journey we're
I wish
on.
I could tell you folks that I live in freedom all the time, but I don't. I still get locked into some of those things.
Yeah.
But the thing that's different is I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
And then I can make the choice to make adjustments. Mm-hmm. And so, I just, it's pretty cool. 5 grandkids.
Yep.
They're all different.
Yep.
And they bring all different things to the table, and we're excited about that.
Yes.
We enjoy that phase. I think grandparents is a nice phase to be in, I think. And so
we love it. We love it.
You betcha. Absolutely. What else do you want to talk about? We're winging it. It's wing night tonight.
It's
so what
wing
else
night.
do you...
We actually might go out for wings after this. I was thinking,
think that would
because
be a
we
great
didn't
idea.
have supper yet.
Yeah. I was in the gym a little later than normal, and I was rushing home and that kind of stuff. But that's...
So we said, let's wing it tonight.
Yeah, you betcha. Mm-hmm.
No. And you know what, honey? We say this a lot. I love doing life with you.
Yeah, I sure do.
I love doing life with you.
Yeah.
Babe, because it's been a journey.
Yeah.
And I love the journey that we've had, the stuff we've plowed through, and I love where we are right now.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what? Everybody's journey is different. But there's good to come. There is good to come.
I'm learning.
You know,
I say I'm learning because I'm getting 50 and
yeah, wow.
And I'm still learning.
Wow.
That means you are too, because I'm only 6 months older than you are. So what are you? Wow. You're right behind.
We're in the same boat.
We're in the same boat.
Yes.
And I'm just looking forward to what new things and places I'm going to be, and things I'm going to discover, and things I'm going to learn. I'm excited to be part of our church. I think we have a great church family. Yeah. And I just love the aspect that we can work some of this stuff through together as a group. Yeah. Where we want to go as a church, what we want to do, how we want the community to see us, and how we want people to connect with us, and how we want to connect with people. Because it's not about the building. It's not about the services. It's not about what happens here. We're in a studio, but what doesn't happen there, it happens what's out there. And I think the greatest impact and influence, not only church, us as individuals can have, is we purposely us to involve ourselves in people's lives
Yeah.
without an agenda. And I think that's important to understand, because so much of my life has been agenda. I needed something from somebody. But when you flip that, and it's not so much what do I need from somebody, what can I give? How can I serve? How can I encourage? How can I give life?
And I love the fact, because our journey has been actually believing what God said about us, but just believing in people, believing that person there, I don't care where you are, I don't care if you're in a pit, I don't care if you're screwing up, I don't care if you have it all together, it don't matter, but we believe in people and value the person in front of us.
Absolutely. I think that changes when we understand that as a life principle. I think we learn to accept ourselves the way we are too. Because many times we have such a high standard. We have a picture of what our life should look like. And when we have that picture of what our life should look like, we expect others to look the same. And then we put that pressure on them. When we relieve people and relieve ourselves and enjoy the journey, let God transform us and change us as we walk with Him, and we allow the other people to have that process too. I think we birth life and hope as a result of it. And I am all about life and hope, because for so many years I allowed life and hope to be gone because I was trying to conform to a system. And it's not about that.
So that's what we want to maybe leave with you tonight.
Absolutely. That aspect of it, I've been enjoying watching hockey. My Oilers team is not in the playoffs. They're golfing. I know, and there's many people that are reminding me about that, but I'm keeping tabs on their teams, and now a few of those teams are now golfing too, so I don't feel any sympathy for that at all. I just bring it in. We just have Oilers have a little more experience golfing, so you betcha.
You're funny, honey.
You bring a lot to the table, and I just honor you, and I just think it's great that we can wrestle through some of these things together, and it's just a lot of fun.
It is. I think we're having more of a blast closer to 50 than we ever have.
Oh yeah, so I would agree. You
know what? Let's and I think that's huge. Just not taking life so seriously. That's I think what I want to leave tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like sometimes wing it. Don't take everything so seriously. There is way too much seriousness going on.
Break your patterns.
Just break it off.
We can be so
and
predictable
life.
and so predictable and
do something out of your. Just wing it.
Like speed once in a while. Like go over 100,
Yeah, try it.
Not really.
That's actually normal for me.
What we're trying to just say is, when we take life so seriously, we forget to enjoy ourselves. And I'm not saying go break the law. I'm just saying put yourself in a situation, take some risks, learn to adjust, and allow yourself freedom to fail, because that's how we grow and how we learn. And so absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for enjoying
Wing Night. We're going to do this once a month and just talk about whatever and some of our own things about life and some that comes out. Again, if you want the copy of the book, we'd love to send it to you. Just email me, Geoff at .73@sastel.net, and we will get it to you. Again, it's $20 a copy, and if you're outside the Evanston area and you need it mailed to you, it's $3 and what did I say, 35 cents to mail anywhere in Canada. If you're watching us from the States, it's I think $5.16 to mail it to you. We know we have people that are watching us from United States of America.
On Facebook or wherever you're watching us.
Hey, we're going to look at doing some new things in our studio, and we're excited to do some trying, so be out on the lookout how our studio is going to change, and we're looking forward to that. And just, hey, if you got nowhere to... If you're not doing nothing Sunday, we would love to invite you to the Estevan Church of God Sunday at 10:30 in the morning. We have a very lively, modern environment, modern service, and we just love to be real. And we would love to have you come and say, hey, we were watching your program, we decided to come.
See you there.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, folks. We just
have
a great rest of the week, and we will see you on Wednesday
see you next
for
Wednesday.
Table Talk again. Thank you.
Okay.
Bless you. Bye-bye.
See you guys.